Story number one. Is the football money stream broken? Theo, you brought this to my attention, but I hadn't been paying attention, man. But there's a lot of money going into trying to get sports, big time sports, namely football, into the people's hands on their streams, on their devices, into this new media. And it's cost them a lot of money. And I didn't know the numbers were this crazy. Could help me understand this. What's going on?
Well, first I gotta say, are you ready for some football? So anyway, just my personal experience with football. I wasn't a big football fan growing up. It wasn't until I got to Tampa, Florida, when the Tampa Bay Bucks were so terrible. And I just saw how they progressed from, they had the first black coach, Tony Dungy, and just I started becoming more of a fan. And then after it really when I became a working professional, there was like a year I was trying to date this girl. She was into football, and I used to go to all the sports bars, watch football, do fantasy, all that. So my love and hate of football goes up and down. And last couple of years we had Tom Brady here. So I just want to give my background on just like, I'm a fan, but I'm kind of one of those like, oh, she got dressed today. Let me go check out her today. She ain't looking too hot. Let me step away. So I know enough about football to be dangerous, but from the business side, yeah, Mr. But the reason I want to bring this up because it's fall and football. When we're filming this, they are recording this. This is the beginning weekend of football season. Always that weekend after Labor Day, and again, man, it's big money, man. So for years, football has been on regular TV, right? CBS, Fox, NBC. That still stays the same for the most part, but this is the first year, that big year, that YouTube and Amazon have bought a piece of football. YouTube reportedly paid roughly about $2 billion per year over the next 7 years. So now with their YouTube Premium, which you highlighted to me, in addition to that, you pay extra money and you can get Direct TV. Direct TV used to be the guideline what you watch. That means you can watch every football, season,
Yeah.
every team, every game. DirecTV now is on YouTube and it costs a lot of money. There is since the estimates that it says that to break even, that YouTube needs to get 4.5 million people to sign up for NFL Sunday ticket to even just break even. But you think Google cares about that at the end of the day? Hell no. It's a
Oh no, I
salami
mean,
era for them.
you have to put in the money to make the name known and become associated with YouTube, right?
Exactly. So I don't think they care about the loss. This is a loss leader for them, basically. They're losing money to kind of build up market share and build up the YouTube brand, which, let's be honest, is already pretty high with all the influencers, but football is going to make even that more and more powerful. So, you know, hot take, if I was an influencer on YouTube right now, I would do a lot of football takes. It's
Hmm.
show versus business because there's something about the algorithm. No, no, they may be pushing more football takes now.
You
What do you
think they
think
might
about
have a
that?
button? Think they might have a butt push? All right, we'll talk
We
about that
may.
too.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. So anyway, and then also I want to talk about Amazon. We talked about this previously, but they bought Thursday Night Football for 11 seasons, $11 billion, basically $1 billion a year. And they're going to do something interesting with their Thursday night game. They're going to have a Friday night game from Black Friday. We talked about this, where basically you're on Amazon, you're watching football, it's Black Friday sales. Why you gotta leave the couch? You might as well just buy stuff on Black Friday in between plays of Kansas City Chiefs versus the Lions.
Hmm.
Perfect synergy. Awesome idea. So I want to know what the sales are going to be for that game for Amazon. And that's going to be, because we talked about this, the synergy between streaming services and
Yeah.
offline purchases. We talked about Disney Plus trying to do something like that.
Hmm.
I'll be so curious if this works beyond measure. Man, I think this is the start of something new where we're actually going to have entertainment combined with purchasing at retail store, and that'd be huge. So,
So what's interesting that you mentioned that if you're on YouTube mobile, the mobile app, you will get a lot more chances. It seems like you get more chances to buy from the mobile app. I don't know, maybe
mhm.
there's something with you're scrolling, your thumb is just hitting buttons and you're like, "Oh, I wanna buy that right now." I don't know why, but I was on a I was on a YouTube page and, usually you see a couple of t-shirts for like $20 or whatever if someone's selling something, that's fine. but I forgot where it was, but it was a Netflix sponsored brand, a show or whatever, and it had like really the high end collectible items like we were talking about way back when I was talking about like the BTS collectibles, the
Mhm.
Korean TV show exclusives, and we were talking about Comic Con back when we were talking about that. What I was talking about and what we were hinting at and guessing at actually happened. So we were seeing like, high price items like Comic Con exclusives. It's like YouTube exclusive, available for this week only. And I was like, $300 for a Metacom Kubrick? I used to collect those things. I was like, wow, it's exclusive just showing up on YouTube like this. Okay, let's go. So it's definitely happening. I guess they're playing around in certain markets and trying to figure it out. I don't know who else is seeing this or how many users it's going out to. I'll do the research and get back to you on it, but I thought that was very interesting, and I just saw that earlier today.
Mm. Well, there you go, man. So, like I said, football, there's so much money made in football. So just give a breakdown. ABC, ESPN, and Disney, they pay roughly about $2.7 billion a year just to access rights to, ESPN and ABC. YouTube, we talked about them. They spend $2 billion, or Google, $2 billion a year. The NFL network, I mean, 1.3 billion. Sure. That's owned by the NFL. So we'll see what that looks like. But Fox, 2.2 billion, CBS, 2.1 billion. And CBS is streaming it on their streaming service, Paramount. NBC, 2 billion, and Amazon, 1 billion. So basically, everybody's getting a piece of this in NFL, man. This is crazy, man. And so they're making money hand over fist. And look, man, this football is a sport of our country right
Yeah.
now. I mean, people love it. And then the gambling aspect, I didn't even talk about the gambling aspect. So now that we already did fantasy football, right? That was kind of pseudo gambling. But
Mhm.
now gambling is quote unquote legal now. And so that's probably grew viewership through the roof, right? So now people actually are betting and making real money off of NFL games. So it's crazy, and they're already getting players suspended for gambling. Because if you, and so I don't know, it messes up the integrity. So what if you're a ref, right, for a game?
Yeah.
Could you make more money if you throw the game a little bit, betting on the side versus actually doing the game up right? So I'm sure they got all kinds of guardrails to prevent that, but man, this is America, dude. This is America. Man, people
Yeah.
gonna make their money.
Did I ever tell you about the friend I had who got run out of San Diego for starting a radio show? Like,
What?
yeah, this dude was pioneering. He was one of those young pioneering type of guys, right? And you ever sit around and start to wonder, hey, what if we combine this, this, and this? That'd be great. And you're like, yeah, that does sound great. I wonder why no one has done it yet. Well, he basically started this thing called, it was a point shavers. That was the brand, Point Shavers. I don't even know if it's still online. I hope I'm not throwing him under the bus by even mentioning that. But it was about point shaving, and that was the name of the show on the radio. Thing is, it was recorded in a strip club that was like across right next door to a sports bar, and a lot of people in the sports industry would frequent this place. It wasn't too far from the airport, strip club, sports bar. We're in San Diego, so they had the football team down there, the Chargers and everything. And went back when they were in San Diego, and it was this whole thing where you got a stripper on, and she's talking about what's going on with these sports guys. Like, yeah, he did this, this, and that, blah, blah, blah. You know, and they were gambling and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what? It was just this terribly fascinating show, got put on the radio, got a bunch of views, then suddenly it was off the radio.
Yeah.
There was there was no cursing or anything, but it was just kind of edgy stuff. Anyway, got ran out of San Diego. It got shut down, and I don't even know if the strip club is there anymore. But it was this whole miniature scandal. Yeah, that's a whole business and interesting world.
Yeah, sportsman, money, sex. I mean, look, man, there's so many stories. I mean, you can write volumes on it, man. So, I mean, there was a strip club down in Atlanta, Scores, that, yeah, they would have all the NFL, NBA players show up, and there was a lot of controversy around that. So, yeah, man, it's, sports, sex, and money. And that's pretty much America in a nutshell. So, so there you go. We love it.
Yeah. And no, I cannot find any trace of it on the web now.
It's gone.
Comedy.
It's gone.
Yeah, pretty much.